No, it's a completely game changer. So everyone is awaited for the European centralized assessment. If you have seen this, the joint assessment on the European level, which is great now. On the other side, I think it's a beginning process. We are at the beginning, and to be quite honest, I would say yes, we see a centralized assessment which starts with oncology in 2025, as you have seen here. And on the other side, there is in parallel a process also on a national level, which is the HTA process, as you know. Yeah, it was a long process to accept it, but if you look behind the scenes, I would say the European methods, for example, on an HTA level, is more copy-paste. It's my personal opinion, to be honest, from the German system, because it's based on the methods of the EQUIC paper, as you know probably, and so we are very close to this European process. However, they have accepted and they have adjusted the European level. Nevertheless, they have also, or they keep the freedom, the GBA, the HTA body, keep the freedom to say, okay, we would like maybe in some cases we will need additional analytical things, methods, endpoints, and that makes the things a bit more complicated because you have the double work, as I said before. That's true. That's exactly the uncertainty for us as a company, because we are at the beginning, I would say, in a pilot phase. It's not a pilot because it's already written down in some in some statements and methods. However, we have no experience now. We are learning. This is a learning system for all of us. Some companies are faster. We have the first companies who went through this process. We do not know what kind of requests will be considered by the GBA in this joint clinical assessment. Nevertheless, I think they will not consider again, or the joint clinical assessment outcome for the in the German process. But as you said, this is important. We do not know exactly what they would like to see from us.
Yeah. The stuff.
It's a good question. I think from my point of view, I would say we need to speed up here a bit, because in the end, I think if we have a centralized system like the joint clinical assessment on the European level, this will be very helpful for all the pharmaceutical industries in the future, because you have a very clear guidance what they would like to see. I think the challenge is on the national level, they give up their competence. They don't want to see any longer that they have to accept outcomes on the European level. This is a bit difficult, and on the other side, this is divided in two parts. This is first of all the assessment, but the pricing negotiation or the pricing setting is in the hand of the national level. So which makes a bit complicated and not easy for the national SIG funds, or maybe also for the GBA or for the HTA bodies to let them go on the European level. That's probably the challenge, but in the end, coming to your point, I would say we need to come in this direction. We need to see that the joint clinical assessment will be the only assessment that makes life easier for the pharmaceutical industry. No, we have a good process established, as you said. I think we are in most of the cases for all the pharmaceutical, the first launch country. We have reimbursement as of the first day of launch. We have a clear process described and established on a national level. We have in advance now the European clinical assessment, which is quite challenging for the companies because timelines are very short to bring in, particularly if you come in with maybe some changes in your regulatory strategy, then you need to establish in a short notice the new label and how you will consider this one on a national level or even on a joint clinical assessment on the European level. So there are some challenges for us, but all in all, I think Germany is it's one of the best countries to launch because we have, as of first day, we have a reimbursement. We have no waiting time. Patients can have access at the first day of launch to all these innovative medicines. For patients, it's great, I think.
Yeah.
It's a fair question. I think in 2011 we established this called AMNOG, HTA process. And I think it's after a while everybody accepted this kind of process, and in 2022 Financial Stabilized Act stepped in under the leadership of the health minister Mr. Lauterbach. They changed it, and this was a quite new area for the pharmaceutical industry because a value is not any longer a value under this Financial Stabilized Act, because if you have a minor additional benefit, it means if the appropriate comparator is a branded one, you need to accept a additional discount of minus 10%, which is unfair because if you have an added benefit, it doesn't play a role, it's a minor or a considerable. It's an added benefit. You have a high innovative product on the market, and this needs to change. And we hope that we see some willingness to change here in the current pharma dialogue, which is triggered by MFN in Germany now. I guess we need to come back where value is a value in the end. So, and this is the framework where we would like to see from the government, and this is top of the agenda in this pharma dialogue, a part of many other things which is on the agenda currently, but this is the most important one because otherwise I see the risk that Germany will lose attractiveness for the investments from the pharmaceutical industry, but also for R&D development. So I give you a good example. I think a couple of years ago in R&D range, Germany was on number 3. Now we are number 7. Spain have bypassed us, is number 1 for investments, for study designs and looking forward. And this is it's a strong signal that we need to speed up here. We need to change something in the systems. I think the government has recognized this. Hopefully they will come back to some new roles or new guardrails. And that's what the content of our current pharma dialogue is.